Now let's play with layer masks for more complicated documents that will use two different types of layer masks. Okay, so come into Bridge and grab the pronghorns image from the Practice Pics with Students folder, as well as Raven and Tree. I'm holding down Command to do this, and Sheep Eater's Cliffs. And then go up to Tools, Photoshop, Load Files into Photoshop Layers. Okay, if you get this message, just click Yes. Okay, so we want the pronghorn to have a different backdrop there instead of that scraggly brush. Instead, we want the Sheep Eater's Cliffs, and then in the foreground, we want the raven to appear in that tree. So let's make the pronghorn the middle image. Okay, now the raven is on the top, and on the bottom is that Sheep Eater's Cliffs image. Now that's a lower resolution than the other images, so you do see there's this white edge here. That's okay, that's where the raven will be, and then the pronghorn will be, that image will take that area down there. So don't worry about that for now. Okay, so we want the cliffs to show through the top image. So we're going to have to create a layer mask in order to do that. So with the pronghorns layer targeted or selected, it's highlighted there, you're going to click on the layer mask button down at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so it's added that white layer mask. Alright, so we're going to come over to the brush tools. So click on the brush tool, and then as always we want to reset our tool. Okay, so right mouse button up here and reset the tool. Okay, we want a soft edged brush, so select from one of these and then you can press return. It's really small right now, so use your brackets keys on your keyboard to bring up the size. Notice it's increasing right there, the size. It should be at least 300. I'm going to make mine 500. Okay, so right now the mask is white, and we're going to paint with black so that we're going to be able to hide that portion and actually see through to the bottom, which is the cliffs. Okay. Now if yours is white in the foreground, you need to switch it by doing this button here to black in foreground, so you can paint with black. It always paints with the one on top. Or you can press the X key on your keyboard and it will exchange those. So we're going to begin painting. You're just going to click and drag. And yeah, we're going to get that white edge there, but that's okay. We're going to go over that later. And we reveal the cliffs there. We're going to go kind of carefully around the heads of the pronghorn there that stick up. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's say you went too far. Oops, you accidentally painted over. It's like one disappeared. What you can do is, of course, you can undo. But another thing you can do is you can exchange the foreground backgrounds, and you can now paint with white to bring back the pronghorn, which is kind of neat. Let's say you wanted the edge to be even softer where the cliffs meet the brush there. You can go up to opacity and use the scrubby sliders to bring down the opacity of the brush, or you can simply tap in something like 5 to make it 50%. Then paint over that and you see that brush is reappearing. To get proof of this, you can always go to the click option and the thumbnail of the mask, and you do see some gray there, which is about 50%. The black would be 100%. So fully hiding that portion and showing fully what's underneath. The white would be fully showing that portion of the image. Okay, I don't like that, so I'm going to Command Z, undo that. Okay, now let's add the raven here. So we're going to want to click on that layer, the ravens layer. And this is different in that, yes, you're going to add a mask, but please, please, please pay attention. You're going to hold down Option key when you come down to click the layer button, the layer mask button. So hold down Option key, click, and now notice the difference there. You have a black mask. So you're going to actually be hiding right now the whole layer, even if we were to, of course, we want to make that visible. But the whole layer is hidden now, and we're going to reveal it by painting with white. Okay, so we start to paint. Notice white is foreground over here. If it isn't, you can exchange it, right? And we also need to bring this up to 100%, right? So I'm going to quickly type 00, and that brings up to 100%. So we see the raven's tree appearing there. And you see in the thumbnail, it's white where I'm painting. Right? And then let's make the raven appear. And there's the raven. Okay, I'm getting a good bit of the blue, but we're going to be able to get rid of that. Okay, make sure to get that tree fully in there. Okay, I don't want to have that much blue, so I'm going to exchange and now paint with black, which is making some of that layer go away. I'm going to make my brush smaller by doing the left bracket button. Okay, and now I'm able to paint some of the portion, the raven's original sky. So that pronghorn appears. And you could go back and forth all day doing this, trying to get it exactly right. You can also make the brush smaller, and you can bring the opacity to 50% so that the edge, you get some of that. I'm going to exchange it so that brush is pretty small here. So things that you didn't mean to can bring that back a little bit. 00, making it 100% again. And exchanging it, getting rid of some of that blue. So just remember that white reveals what's on that layer. So we see the raven there, but the rest of the layer is hidden because we're looking below that at the pronghorn layer and the sheep eater's cliffs layer. White reveals what's on that layer. So for instance, that white is revealing the pronghorn in terms of the layer masks. If you can remember that about masks, black hides, white reveals, then you will be set and you'll be able to use those quite easily in your projects.